Good afternoon, Jeff. Hey, honey. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics. I'm your host, Jennifer Jennings. I'm not going to keep you guys here long today. TGIF, right? I would say happy birthday, happy solar return to Seth, but it's really not a happy birthday. His son is still missing. It's still a nightmare. So, I don't know, maybe he'll get out of the house and do something to celebrate him and the future birthdays, Father's Day, and holidays that are to come. I wish that I could find Sebastian for him. Wouldn't that be a great birthday? And of course, I work on it all the time, trying to figure it out. I'm sure I'm overthinking it, wanting it so badly that I just can't seem to grasp. But today, Sebastian Rogers is in transit all day. And I want to show you guys that. I want to show you that there's a warring today with the emotions that are taking place, that have taken place at home, that are hidden. This investigation with Sebastian. All the while today, all day, Virginia is in transit. Who would have thought it? It seems that a lot of times that he is holding a collective transitory energy that Virginia is in transit too. It's just not a coincidence. Of course, there's a lot of family and friends that that Katie and Chris have in Virginia. I'm not going to attempt to even pull up his map because I'm sure it'll just throw everything off with StreamYard. But I do hope that everyone is having a good day today. I'm about to pull up the transits and show you what I'm talking about. Let me pull Sebastian up, and then I'm going to show you the dual it out wheel. Because I want to, I want to make sure that everybody remembers that today is a day where I am observing. I did look at the news for Virginia so far today. It's thousands and thousands of people are without power. Without power. So their homes are being affected with the storms that went through there. And let me go ahead and pull up Virginia, and then I'm going to show you guys this, what I'm talking about. Virginia, let me pull them up, and then I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. Let me present it. Share my screen. Now, let's go to this full screen here. Here we go. All right. So today, Sebastian is in transit with this 2538. It's in Cancer. And the 2538 in Cancer is with Eris, the goddess of war and strife. And it is with relationships right now, in the house of relationships and partnerships. The 2538 is in transit all day today, and it's not at the same, it's at the same degree, but it's not with the same sign. So it's not a major warring, but there is definitely a warring that's taking place at home. And again, Virginia has been without power. Let me show you that Virginia is in transit as well, so we can talk about this freely. And you understand what I'm talking about, because it's just the degrees that we're looking at. This 340 in Capricorn, 340 in Cancer. Well, the 340, there is a transformation here with the House of Groups. And this 340 is just going to make its way around the zodiac wheel. And there's a transformation of health at home with the electrical company, right? That's exactly what I'm seeing today. And that is what is in transit as well. We can see that there's a devouring energy with home at a 1536, and that is where Virginia is magnetized right here, the 1536. So we can learn a lot when it comes to the investigational process and looking at someone's chart and trying to figure out where they could be. And I'm still wondering about Virginia. Yeah, I go back and forth. Could it be in another country? Could it be in another state? Because I still just don't think that Sebastian ran off. I don't think that there is. I just don't think that. This morning, in the third house of communications, it was here. It was at a 931, and that 931 with Sebastian. There's a lot of energy here with the public image and his health, and the darkness was coming over that degree, not in the same sign, because this is Scorpio, this is Virgo, but it's still making contact. Okay, still making contact. And the 932 that we see right now, well, this morning it was at a 931 in the house of communications. It was first in the fourth house, and then it went into the third house of communications. And that does make me wonder, is he in Virginia? We have a transformative collective energy in this 320 with Pluto and Aquarius. Let's look at this with Indiana. Let's look at the transits with Indiana right now. Their vertex, it's intense. Very intense day for Indiana today. And so I take note of that as well. I'm taking note, as I do every time, trying to figure out where this boy could be. Because obviously he needs to be found, right? So the 320, the 340, so we've got Virginia in transit with a collective trans-Pluto in Virgo. There's a transformation of health. We have an intensity with groups in Indiana today and tomorrow. Right now, we also have a collective energy with Vulcanus in Leo at a 344. This was in transit when he went missing. And that 344 goes to Mexico and Israel. So take a note of that one. And let me just say that the lunar nodes at a 2227 are coming to the United States of America's Neptune in Virgo. The South Node is going to be at their Virgo Neptune today. Today is a day worth really observing what is taking place around the world and with these cases. Major. I can see that the communications are coming to the TBI. The TBI has a 2117 in their chart. I also see that there is something that we are learning. There is a public image that is being opposed by the state of Tennessee. The state of Tennessee's Chiron is in Capricorn in their second house of values. And so the Cancerian energy with Selena, she's learning something. She's teaching something. And there is something that the state of Tennessee is learning that goes against their Chiron. This is causing them pain with their public image. This is a day that I have been observing for days to come. I mean, days ago, I was observing this day, wanting to see more about it. And of course, we know that Seth's birthday is today. But that's not what I'm seeing, though. I'm seeing that there is a major warring that is happening with Sebastian today. about home and the things that are hidden at home, the things that are hidden with family, with land. And her family is in Virginia. That's where they are. And let me just show you something too. Good afternoon, Kelly. Let me show you something too about when he went missing. Let me show you. Let me pull that up. Sebastian missing. And we're going to look at Virginia. I know I've showed this to you time and time again, but I'm going to do it again because I think that, we have to keep telling ourselves that, this boy, Sebastian, went missing. And then let me pull up Virginia. So Sebastian is missing, and then here's Virginia. So I have him missing. The intensity of him going missing is on the 26th at 1:36 a.m. Between 1 and 3 a.m. is when I see a lot that has taken place with Sebastian, because it is affecting his natal chart in such an intense way. The sun is shining on the state of Tennessee's values. Mercury is opposing the state of Tennessee's Mercury. And it's about two people in the communications. It's the lights, okay? It's the lights. The moon and Neptune are both in an opposition. This is an intense time. No doubt about it. You can't tell me otherwise. The series at a 631, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy in that first house at a 631, and that's exactly where Virginia rises. I'll bet in Aries. In Aries. The state of Tennessee, I'm going to pull them as well and show you. But look, this 1614 with the dark moon is opposing the moon of Virginia. Things of the past. This 1614 that was in transit is also affecting the natal chart of Sebastian Rogers with Vulcan right here at a 1614. And we're going to see this come into transit with Juno very soon. There's a relationship that's going to make itself known. There's a relationship that is going to make itself known. And I want to say that that's July 8th. That's going to be a day that we are going to definitely be watching. Or I'm definitely going to be watching. You may not, but I am. I see a lot of things that are coming, but this is a day that not only is Virginia going to be in transit, so is Katie's BFF. I'm just going to call her Miss Thing. Miss Thing. You see this 1614? It's going to begin on the 9th. And you see this 15. This is going to be Virginia. This is a day that we're going to be watching for Sebastian in Virginia. I mean, I just can't make it up here. Okay. Because they have certain degrees that are matching one another. And I see the family members. I see a lot that is taking place on this day on July 9th. The 1542 that Sebastian has in his natal chart, well, that's his sun. He shines at a 15 degree and 42 minute. There is a relationship that is coming into transit. But look, this begins, let's see. This begins early Wednesday morning. Okay, let me show you this. It's going to begin early Wednesday morning. And I'm going to show you the days. Okay, this is days. Well, just watch this right here. This one right here, the 1614. Would you know there's a relationship here? The 1614. Look, now it's stationing. There is an intensity with Sebastian in Virginia on the same day on July 10th. July 11th. You see the S right here? The hard station has now become it's not as intense, but it's still intense. It's big day. 2 days for Virginia. But y'all, this 540, one of the family members of Sebastian has this. And let me just tell you, it's not Seth. On the July 10th through the 11th, Katie's going to be weighed down with family. Something's happening. There's going to be a wake-up call. There's a wake-up call that's going to be taking place Friday morning. The wake-up call is with Tennessee. It's with Craddock. Going to be a little wakey. And this is, like I said, this is all with Sebastian and Virginia. Their connections are very strong. Very strong. And then we see that on July 12th, this relationship is now moving forward. No longer is it in retrograde. No longer is it in a station, but now the relationship is moving forward. No longer in the past. Lots of energy going to Indiana here. And the TBI. And then there's a reigniting of a flame that's just really going to, it's really going to weigh on Craddock. On the 12th, on Saturday morning, the 12th, he's weighed down at this time. And then the TBI is going to come into transit as well. So these are days that I'm going to be watching in July with Sebastian, Virginia connection that I'm seeing today. Today is also the summer solstice. It'll begin here in Tennessee tonight. First day of summer. But I'm seeing a lot happening with Sebastian. And it just keeps on going to Virginia. And like I said, I would show you the map, but it's just going to crash. StreamYard can't handle the data. And there is a lot of addresses with the Proudfoots and Katie's family. General Proudfoot lives in Virginia Beach. So does General Proudfoot Jr. lives in Virginia Beach. Landon, he's in Virginia. They're in Virginia. The Proudfoots, and I mean that they've all got family there. That's where on Sebastian's map, that's where Seth shines. Seth shines with 2 people in communications in Virginia. And I just can't let that go. I have to remember and remind you guys that this is, it's a big deal. So July 13th, Juno finally moves off. But there's this physician that keeps showing up at this 540. And again, one of the family members has that. And of course, Eric Craddock could as well. But this is a whole week that I'm going to be watching, 5 days. And then the sun is going to shine. The lunar nodes have come over the TBI, and then the lunar nodes come down to the 2115, but the sun shines on the TBI the morning of Sunday. And there's an expansion here with my teaching, and it's about the past. It's about the teaching of today. And what I'm talking about today. But before that, let's look at this. Let's look at Virginia one more time. Because what's going to happen is there's a relationship from the past with Virginia that's going to be in transit for days. Sure enough. So we are going to come back. This 340 that's in transit all day today is about the electricity. The storms that have went through. Sebastian also, let me just show you something. Let me show you Sebastian compared to Virginia one more time. Hold on. Maybe I didn't do that yet. Sebastian and Virginia, let me show you the connections for the natal. This is where Sebastian is connected to the state of Tennessee and the warring with we the people. He's got some hidden enemies here with the state of Tennessee. It's his outer will. But this 1614 that was in transit when he went missing was opposing the moon. It was opposing the moon in Virginia, actually opposes the state of Tennessee as well. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to really wrap my mind around. But you see, Sebastian has these desires of long travel, of a higher learning at a 1531. And that's exactly where there's a transformation with Virginia and the warring. Ceres is actually on its way to this 957. Ceres right now is at a 9. Let's see. What is Ceres at right now? At a 954. So let me tell you, in about 3 hours, in 3 hours, we can expect a lot of energy that is going to be expressed in Virginia. Will the lights come back on? Will there be something else? Will there be some type of warring? I don't know. But this is a transformative day for Virginia. Right now, what we are learning, what we are teaching here at a 2211, there's an opposition with the state of Tennessee, with their values. With their values. What do you mean, Jennifer, their values? Well, I mean, you know, what they value. What they truly value. Money. They're receiving an opposition right now. So the moon is critical in Gemini right now. The communications are critical for the world, for Israel, for Mexico. We know that Mexico just received a major, well, I wouldn't say major, but it was a Cat 3 hurricane. So I'm taking that into consideration because this 344 with Mexico and Israel was in transit when he went missing too. Have to take note, you know, have to take note of all. There's things going on with Indiana. We know that. The 957. Let's look at that because there's going to be a lot of information coming through with Virginia. Lots of energy, lots of warring. And I don't know if one of their facilities would be hit or anything like that. It's crazy. You know, we're living in a crazy time. We do see Virginia is still in transit during this period. The 957 is in transit in the 4th house of home. And I'll tell you something else. Speaking of General Prophet Jr. Prophet Jr. I'm theorizing here. Theorizing. And I'm just bouncing. Yeah, here we go. There's Virginia right there. With Venus right there. We've got, it could be that the electricity is being cut back on for more people, or we could be looking at something else that's going to be taking place. This is around 6 o'clock. That would be Nashville time. The values are transforming in with an intensity with Indiana. But then what's interesting is there's going to be a wake-up call. A wake-up call to the Saturn of Junior, Prophet Junior. And then, interesting, this is going to take place. And it's crazy that he would have the 2445 at a station Saturn. It's very interesting to me that General Prophet Jr. has his Saturn at a station a red station, by the way, very intense. And he has been known to, light fires in Virginia, even at his home. All you got to do is Google it. But the 2445, that is his Saturn. And very interesting that this is going to be in opposition with China. China has the 2445 in Leo. There is going to be an opposing force with China Saturday at 4 o'clock. Mark your calendars. And you'll be able to see that sure enough, China's having an opposition with groups at home. Saturday afternoon as well. Saturday, all day Saturday, there is a lot of transformation with Tucker Carlson. With the stock market. The stock's going to be closed Saturday, but I can see that the energy of transformation is definitely coming. Things are taking place in Ohio. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be with China and Russia, actually. China and Russia. It'll be China first and then Russia. But even tomorrow, all day long, there's a major blow up with Trump, with Israel, with Mexico. I can see Virginia is showing up again with Venus here at a 1542. And it's easy for me to remember that because Sebastian and Virginia, Sebastian shines at a 1542, where Virginia is also coming into play here. It's all about money, honey. This is a big time period with United States here. What is going to be happening in Virginia? That remains to be seen. But this third house of communications, there's where the transformation is. And then we have the fourth house of home. That's 2225. That is definitely the United States degree with Neptune in the ninth house of the higher learning, long travels, things that are hidden. I've seen a lot of death with this degree. And then here comes the opposition Saturday with China. So the warring, we know that Virginia has a base. Hold on, where is the base in Virginia? Because that 25, let me see. That 2538 is still going to be in transit in the morning. Where's it at? Where's Eris? Where's she at? Right there. So Sebastian will still be in transit when we wake up with that warring with Virginia. So is Virginia, let me look. Let me go hours when that's going to let off of him. Oh, wow. So it doesn't let off of him until 4 o'clock Saturday. Interesting. Anything at all that y'all hear about with Virginia today or tomorrow, please let me know. I may already know about it, but I may not. If you hear anything about Virginia, let me know. There's a lot of energy going with the FBI. Ooh, this is a big day. This is a big day. Let me see where the Virginia. Hey, Hope. Hey, honey. Virginia. I don't even know what naval base. I don't know. Norfolk. Okay. That way I can put this on Sebastian's map. Built July 4th, 1917. Naval station situated in the Sewell's Point area. It is the world's largest Navy station with the largest concentration of U.S. Navy. We know that his parents are U.S. Navy, right? Or they were U.S. Navy. The current captain is Janet H. Days. Naval Station, Norfolk. Let me see if it'll pull up. If it crashes, y'all, just hold tight and I'll come back. Naval Station, Norfolk. Oh, that's StreamYard. What am I doing? Let me just go ahead and put this on. I don't know. It could have to do with the war or the talks of war. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't refreshed this map this is just my go-to one. Come on. Load, load, load. Turn off the law enforcement. Let me turn off the missing. That way we can just go to it. Naval Station. Norfolk. Because there's something up with Virginia today and tomorrow with Sebastian. And again, like I said, there was a relationship. Fleet. State of Tennessee is right here. We got Richmond, Petersburg, Bird's Nest. Let's see. Cape Charles. There's Newport News. There's the missing. There's the natal. So there's the natal. Interesting. So I just wanted to put that on there just to see. There's Richmond. And I want to show you too where actually, I'm not going to show you the actual addresses, but I want you to see just the different addresses that I have just right here. Here's the missing and the natal. There's Fort Chiswell. Here's another address. And then we've got an address here, but it's this one right here that I'm mostly interested in Pulaski. Of course, the state of Tennessee is here. And up here, there's Eric. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not gonna spend any more time on that, but I just wanted to show you guys, like, I mean, there's a lot of addresses here in Virginia. And I don't want you to just think about certain family members that you've heard. There's more family members that you haven't heard of that are in Virginia. So I'm definitely not ruling that one out. Definitely not. Because there's something happening with Virginia, the connection that Sebastian has with Virginia. And it's in a constant, like I said, it's constant. And it has been since he went missing. And so I've got to, I got to think about that. And the 1219 that Sebastian has, that's going to be in transit right there with the Divine Justice, with Proudfoot Jr. right there. So I'll be watching him. And I know that he has that degree. I can't show you that in his chart, but out of respect for privacy. But his birthday is public record. It's interesting that I see that there's a lot of energy coming with this transit with Sebastian and Virginia. And I see that there's a lot of energy with the FBI here. They're having limits and obstacles. They may not fare well on Saturday afternoon, the 21st, tomorrow. But that 1010 that they have, that is their Saturn degree, well, Chris's sister, she has that degree no matter what time she's born. So this tells me that not only is Junior in transit, so is she, so is the FBI, so is Sebastian. That 2538 is still in transit. There is a warring that's taken place behind closed doors at a home. This is a relationship with Sebastian. There's a divine justice with values, with, gosh, why can't one of these times that I see Sebastian coming in transit, why can't just one time it produce him? I want to say, I'm not going to pull up Seth's chart, but I want to say that he shines at a 2915. I'll have to look at this when I get off of here. But this is very interesting to me because Prophet Junior is going to be in transit. It's going to be a little wake-up call with the groups, video. I can see Sebastian's mother is going to be in transit. Yeah, it's funny. All the people that she knows, all the people that Chris knows, all their family that's in Virginia. I wonder how they feel about Sebastian going missing. I really do. It's interesting to think about. What's all that family that we haven't heard from? Then the next day, on the 22nd, there's a breakup with Sebastian in the midheaven. The 456, there's going to be a breakup. Let's see exactly when that takes place. Let's look at that. I want to see that 455 turn into the 456. That's Admetos. Admetos is a burden. I've seen breakups take place. Like a breakup. People that, have been together for a while, they just break up. Maybe they get back together, maybe they don't. But yeah, so I'm going to receive some information. There's this breakup that's coming. There it is. Okay, so let's go back. Let me see exactly when this is going to take place. Looks like Sunday afternoon. There's a breakup with communications with 2 or more. With Sebastian's midheaven, I'll bet it's not in Gemini. His midheaven is in Virgo and Pisces. The lowest point that he has at home is going up there toward Melissa's house and is going down into, 2420 was in transit when he was missing. Flame of life with the state of Tennessee and information. Communications with their Mercury that was in transit when he went missing as well. Let's see how this is going to work. What else we can see? There it is, the 537. It's the state of Tennessee's Mercury degree, but this is Vesta. Vesta is in Scorpio right here, and she is reigniting a flame of investigations. This is also a big day for the world. We are going to be reflecting on China. I can see the 2444 again. Junior has the 2445 with his Saturn right there. And so we're going to be reflecting on China and money. We're going to be reflecting on Junior and money. Just saying. There's that 302 that was in transit times 2 when he went missing. Let's see. Katie's friend who passed. What about her values? Just talking about that this morning. The 1709, 1706. Look at that. There's a relationship, and they are in an opposition here with Venus. This is going to be we'll hear about that in the news. We're going to hear about this in the news for sure. Virginia has come off of the collective transits. It's now at 345, 341. Let's see. What else we got? 318. That 318 could be Mr. Bowersox. Possibly Penny. Interesting. Let me go ahead and stop this so I can look at this with Dude's chart later. So just wanted to come on here this afternoon and talk about that because, of course, Sebastian comes in and out of transit, right? In and out of transit. But there's going to be a breakup with communications here on Sunday afternoon with that midheaven, and I'm interested to see how that's going to work itself out. I know what I'm doing Sunday. I know who holds these lunar nodes, and you know what? This is a big turning point for the world as well. Let's go ahead and look at the FBI. Hold on, let me look at this. This breakup. Trying to think, who am I missing here? Oh, Divine Justice is going to oppose Sebastian at a 12. Let's look at that. Right there. June 23rd. That's early in the morning. Who else do we see in transit? The breakup right there. Astria is at a 12. There's a wake-up call. A wake-up call that's in an opposition with him. 304. That's Chris. Having a lot of problems. He's got a lot of problems when he wakes up or when he goes to sleep, whatever he's doing on the 23rd. Definitely a warring here. And I know that, the war drums are just, let's see, there's that 540. It looks like this weekend, there's a lot of chatter about Chris and his family that live in Gallatin, the home builder. I can see that. Sebastian's Divine Justice is 1759. This is going to oppose one of Katie's friends that's deceased with her desires. And I'm sorry for being cryptic, but if she were to ever listen to this, she knows who I'm talking about. And what she may have wanted for Sebastian and how she would be thinking. Let's check this out. 1758, 1759. There's an opposition. I know that Lori, Katie's friend, she's going to be holding some fate coming up in July. And I think that anyone that knows anything, or if they think that they know anything, they better start coming clean. Because I think that there's going to be a shift that's going to be coming in the end of June and July. There's going to be some type of shift in this investigation. Let's look at this warring. There's going to be a relationship with Hairboy, Craddock. When is this warring going to... It's this relationship I'm looking at. I'm looking at this relationship to come down to a 1651. It's going to give Eric Craddock a run for his money right here on Wednesday evening. Interesting. It's 544. That is, let me think about this. So the lunar nodes would have already went over the state of Tennessee. Let's look at this. This is the new moon in Cancer. So the new moon in Cancer takes place on June 25th. Tennessee is in transit with the collective transit with Pluto. There's a relationship that is coming down hard on Eric Craddock about the investigation. I definitely see that Hawaii is in transit. This is a day that Tennessee and Yemen will be holding the fate on the 25th. There is a lot of transformation with Michael Proudfoot. There is a lot of transformation with Oklahoma and California on this day. Ooh. And the FBI will be receiving communications that are limiting them with their work. I can see Georgia. I can see Georgia and Trump learning about something. We are reflecting. Look, there it is. And this 453, Mars is going to just sit on Sebastian's midheaven at a 456. Let's look at this. This is in the evening. Wednesday, the 25th. Right there. Right there. $456, $348. Let's see, 29. And then the next day, we're going to have a devouring energy with his sun degree and with Virginia. Jupiter has just come off Virginia. There's Craddock. He's warring. There is a warring with a relationship and his public image when it comes to investigations and his past investigations as well. He's not all that. Look at that. 2904 is coming into transit with Sebastian with Mercury. So he hits his midheaven. There's a lot of energy with Mars. Could be about the body, a vehicle. Warring. 2904. Mercury is there. We're learning, communicating. And the moon is reflecting home. Again, this is the new moon in Cancer. I mean, Michael Proudfoot has that 342 all day, every day. And that definitely goes to the state of California. Interesting. So there's going to be days that I'm definitely going to be paying attention, just trying to figure things out with maybe something really minute. We won't see, but it could be something having to do with the investigation. And good Lord knows. I mean, Sebastian has a lot of aunties out here. He's like, these women. So the devouring energy with Sebastian and Virginia is going to be taking place the next day. Let's see when that takes place. There's 1541 right there. We're reflecting on the TBI as well. When he went missing, let's look at this. There it is, 1542. Let's backtrack. Right there. $20.46. Let's go back. Let's go back to when, oh shit. I want to start this exactly when it begins because this is important. Let me look at this. When this 1541 comes into that 1542, I'm going to stop it. The exact moment per Nashville, Tennessee. This is my template city and state. There's the values. Okay. Yeah. The FBI is still in transit. There is limits and obstacles. And I would say there's some creators that I know that have that same degree with the FBI creators on YouTube. And they're going to get some limits and obstacles as well. There's going to be pain when it comes to the things that Chris hides. The 2046 that Sebastian and the TBI have is going to be in transit with Venus. And look at that. The midheaven, the IC is also the 2046. Interesting. See Hawaii here. Things are happening in Hawaii here. So whatever's been going on in Hawaii, there's going to be things that are going to really 343. Now there's going to be an expansion with Israel. It's going to be an expansion with Trump and Mexico during this period of time, and Virginia. This is late. This is late at night. The wake-up call. I wonder if there's going to be a, hold on. That's Tennessee. That is also Saudi Arabia. So Tennessee troops in Saudi Arabia. Is that what we're thinking? Is that what's happening? Tennessee troops, Saudi Arabia. Let me see if it's Tennessee. Hold on. Is it Tennessee or is it Virginia? Tennessee troops, Saudi Arabia. Because I think we have troops. More than 260 troops prepare for a year-long, blah, blah, blah. Prepare for nearly year-long deployment. Okay. Okay, now we know that Tennessee does. Okay, so this is what we are going to be. We may hear something about this weekend. Let's see. Let me look at Virginia. Does Virginia have troops in Saudi Arabia too? Virginia National Guard units have deployed to Saudi Arabia to support various operations. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Mapping U.S. troops and military bases in the Middle East. So this could be, okay. Interesting. Okay. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this, where these connections are coming in, because there's some connections here. Let me see. So we've got the 2428. That is Tennessee and Saudi Arabia. And then we have lots of energy with the state of Tennessee and the troops. I can see that, man. I hate that. I hate that. I feel like that hurts my feelings here. That we could actually really be going to war. There's Canada, 428. That is also Sebastian's moon degree. The moon is in Aries for him. So the fifth house of kids and creativity here with his South Node, where he's been before in Virginia. The desires of authority and responsibility at the 844. Let's look at Virginia one more time. That's it. Their physician with the enlightenment, with communications. Yeah. I think that's what I'm seeing here. Because every time I see Sebastian, I'm seeing Virginia. And the lunar nodes are coming down to that 2211 with not just the state of Tennessee, but Yemen has that too. Okay. So when I see that 2211 that is coming into transit, and I can see Chris is going to be having pain, and I think that it is. I think that there is the war drums. The war drums could be something that they did not play the tape all the way through with Sebastian. They sure didn't. They did not play this tape through. There is going to be an opposition with Chris. Didn't play the tape through. And then the dark moon at a 2641, we can see in the 11th house of groups and how Virginia brings in money. Well, that 2641 is right here. It's with the communications, and this is at 2 a.m. So there's something happening. It could be a storm. I mean, it may not be something that may not be as bad as I'm thinking. I definitely see Hawaii. The physician is with Hawaii here. But then this 1541 with Kronos is coming down, and it's coming into this 1542 that Virginia has, and that's the wake up call about the sixth house of health, their everyday, and their health. Their health. And this is where Sebastian's 1542 in Sag connects to Virginia. And again, when he went missing, y'all, this 1614 was in transit with Sebastian. Sebastian missing in Virginia. You know, we have this 631. There's a lot of energy that is coming to the ascendant of Virginia. And then we have the 1614. The dark moon that was coming over Sebastian was also coming over and opposing Virginia and things of the past with Virginia. Mm-mm-mm. $27.45. So there's going to be media. Should be media attention. Because Mercury is going to come back to the natal. Should be media attention. 27. Media attention at 27:45. There's the 24:46, the flame of life, 27:45. So around 10 o'clock, Nashville time. And that's when there's going to be a wake-up call, okay? And the Chiron of the state of Tennessee with their values, there it is. When we wake up Wednesday morning, the values of the state of Tennessee, they are wounded here. And of course, this is also Yemen. And of course, it's not just Tennessee that's in transit. It's Virginia too. California. Again, that's Michael Proudfoot. And then the warning is coming back to Mr. Bowersox with the FBI. I know I'm jumping around, but man, it's a lot to see. It's a lot to take in. Intuitively, there's a lot. There's a lot going on in this, in the world. And with Sebastian's case, it feels like the intensity that they did not prepare for. They sure didn't. Venus is going to oppose Chris. And I'm hoping that the FBI, I'm hoping that they are following the money here, because there's got to be a money trail. If Sebastian is alive like I think he is, there's a money trail. There's a money trail. The other thing too that's happening on the 25th, it's not just the new moon. It's also NATO. It's also NATO. There is a NATO, it's going to be in the Netherlands. That's on the 25th. Let me go back to I want to see Yemen and Tennessee right here on the 25th. That's 9:00 in the morning. That's on Wednesday. So let's look at the Netherlands. I'm pretty sure it's NATO in the Netherlands. Netherlands. Netherlands is a founding member of NATO. We know that. Massive security operation for NATO summit turns parts of The Hague into a fortress. Netherlands, NATO security. The Hague goes into lockdown ahead of NATO summit. Yes. Okay. So the summit is going to be held there. It begins on the 24th. It lasts through the weekend. The 25th and the 26th. Super tight security is smothering The Hague around a summit. Okay. So this is it. Let me pull the Netherlands. And I know I'm bouncing back and forth, and it's because I'm pretty sure that whatever is taking place, they didn't play that tape. They just didn't play the tape. And when I say they, I'm talking about anyone that has anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance. So I want to look at this day, because this is the shakeup. There's a shakeup with Tennessee, with Saudi Arabia, with Virginia. And this is right before there's limits and obstacles with the FBI. So we have the Netherlands. Let's see. Oh, okay. So the Netherlands is the 544 as well. Okay. All right. So that's where the physician is in the third house of communications. All righty. And there's an opposition here. So there's an opposition with the Netherlands and the physician. Not good. Not good. This is about communications. Interesting that the dark moon has just opposed the flame of life for the Netherlands. Ooh. What? Hey, Elaine. What? Oh. What did I just stumble upon here? Okay, so interesting. So we have Yemen. Okay, so we're going to have to, damn, really? Really? Oh. I thought that this 544 is Hawaii. Let me look at Hawaii. Let me pull up Hawaii. Hold on just a second. Let me pull up Hawaii because I've got to see. how this may not, I mean, it's probably not going to be the same thing with Hawaii, though. But there's a problem with when we have the physician that is in opposition, okay? When the physician is in an opposition, we have problems. Because that means that you can't get to the physician for help, okay? When that woman was, her and her husband were unalived in her home, that's what happened to her. Her physician was being opposed. The woman in Minnesota, I can't remember her name, sorry. So it is. So Hawaii's lunar nodes of fate are with the 544 with the physician, Apollo. So I want to, oh, look, and they have a 932 as well. So Hawaii has a 932 with the communications, the 90209. That's where Neptune is. So we're seeing something with Hawaii too. Okay. We're seeing something with Hawaii with this new moon. We're seeing something with the Netherlands. And we are seeing a buildup that is building up with an opposition of Chris Proudfoot. And there is a devouring energy with Virginia and Sebastian. So I'm just trying to look at it all and take it into account, because the state of Tennessee is fated. Yemen is being fated. And now I'm going to have to pull up Yemen because there is an opposing force with the Netherlands. Hey, Angel, for you, yes, girl, there is so much craziness. There is so much craziness. There is something not right here with the physician being opposed. Okay, let me pull up Yemen because I see Hawaii and the Netherlands that day, but I also see Tennessee and Yemen. I'm not going to pull Tennessee just yet. I may hear and maybe in another live or something. Because this gets you, looking for Sebastian, I get into the rabbit hole, looking at connections, okay? Yemen, there is a lot of connections that Yemen has with Israel, obviously. There's a lot of connections that Yemen has with the United States, obviously. There is going to be a wake-up call with Yemen and groups. The 2426, there's a flame of life here with their values. I don't like this. I don't like this. And then the desires are going to come to the mental health, the communications with Yemen on the 26th. Okay. All righty. I was seeing the 14. Okay, there's the dark moon. So you see Yemen has a dark moon at a 2211 in their 9th house of long travels. This is a FBI number, the 143. This is also 143 is also connecting to the chart of Donald Trump. Yemen, it does definitely connect to Tennessee through their Chiron in the 2nd house of values with the government, the resources and the money. The dark moon here in state of Tennessee is a 1742, and they also connect to the state of Tennessee here at a 1742. But I'm just saying that with this, and it's the FBI. What's happening with the FBI is they're having an opposition. They're going to be opposed. Let me show you why I'm saying that. Jesus, man. This is just making my head spin. It's almost just too much, really. It's just too much to think about, to try to process. FBI, it's just, wow. So the outer wheel that I was telling you about, that 143, there it is. Okay, so Trump has the 143. Yemen has the 143. This is about other people's money, okay? This is about other people's money with Yemen and the FBI, okay? Saturn is at a 140 during this time period where Yemen is carrying a fate with their darkness, with their dark moon. And the state of Tennessee is having a fate with their Chiron. So what I'm seeing here is that this 140 is actually right here. And what's going to happen is Saturn's going to sit here. Saturn is going to come and sit here. But before it does, Saturn is going to grace a 141, which is a vertex. It's an intense experience with the FBI and about communications. And that's why I'm saying that the communications are going to be obstructed. They're not going to, they're just not going to. And then once it gets to the 142 here, before it sits here on the 143, it's going to oppose the investigation with the FBI and how they bring in money with their other agencies. So I'll need to be looking at the Secret Service. I'll need to be looking at Homeland Security, and I'm not gonna pitch all through that. But wow. And what's going to happen is within 4 days, so the 26th, 27th, 29th of June, what's going to happen is this Hades, this weight, is going to oppose the FBI and the communications with the groups. This is a volatile period. This is big. And we can see that the investigation with Pallas is an investigator. She brings you a wake-up call. This 24-26 has already opposed the flame of life with the FBI. The FBI is having a really hard time the end of this month and in July. No doubt about it. Things are just not working out well for them. Where is Pluto? Pluto is at a 315 in Aquarius. And look at this. The FBI shines at a 315 in Leo. Pluto is opposing the FBI and how they shine. And it's about their public image. This is going to be a weekend that is going to lead us. This weekend is leading us into this new moon and the opposing force with NATO. Whoo, mercy. And let me just tell you something. Miss Bowersocks, Mr. Bowersocks, they are highly connected to the FBI. Highly connected to the FBI for a reason. It's not a coincidence that they are highly connected to the FBI. And then what's going to happen is this 2540 with the goddess of war and strife. This 2540 is going to come. She is going to come and bring warring to the FBI, and it's building up. So I want to show you that 2540, because again, this is a day with the Netherlands and Hawaii. This is the big day with Netherlands and Hawaii, the state of Tennessee, Yemen, and our troops in Virginia, Tennessee, and Saudi Arabia. I'm seeing all of that all at once. And this is a big day for Eric Craddock. This is a big day for him with warring as well. So I want to go to that 2542, because this is where the FBI descends with relationships, and that relationship is with Terry Bowersocks. I'm sorry, Terry Bowersocks, but you descend with, I don't know how it's going to work itself out with the FBI and him, but there it is. This is the biggest, this is where the warring is coming. That's July 3rd. We know what happens on July 4th. $26.50. I know who one of the neighbors of Sebastian has that $26.50. Mr. took his trash out at the last minute or what have you. He's got a little pain there. I don't know why, if he doesn't know anything. Communications with Eric Craddock are weighing down. You can see that plain as day. The 2950, this is where Sebastian's flame of life. I'm going to be talking about Sebastian on this day. reigniting a flame with the groups. The groups are us. Maybe we'll be protesting. Who knows? And I can promise you one thing: if they do have a protest, I will be there. I wouldn't miss it. Sebastian deserves to be found. His father deserves answers. His son back. There's the flame of life that is going to come over Sebastian's natal outer will with the law enforcement, relationships. Ooh, Miss Thane. Miss Lori's going to be holding a lot of darkness with her desires. I can see that. And this is where Mr. Bowersox is going to have some warring on Thursday, July 3rd. Chris is going to be in transit. All of his problems. He's going to have a lot of problems on this day. And it could be, like I said, it could be that, we're protesting. It hasn't gotten to that 2542 yet. Let me do an hour. I'm sick of wasting time here. 2542. Look at that. Neptune is going to station at a 210. Right there is Sebastian. So the flame of life Thursday on July 3rd. There's a flame of life in the 11th house of groups. And we're reflecting in Libra. We're reflecting the law, the justice. And there it is, the 2542 right there in the 4th house of home with the FBI and with Terry Bowersox. Because no matter what time he's born, I don't need to know Terry Bowersox's birth time to know that there's going to be some warring with him, with the FBI. And as a matter of fact, when Sebastian went missing, Saturn was at a 929 in Pisces. Mr. Bowersox has a warring with the 929 in Aries, and that's where Mars is going to be, because it is about, it is about the car in the middle of the night showing up, right? Yep, it sure is. So this 2145, that is coming into the lunar nodes of fate with the FBI, and the 2144 that Chris has with his magnetism is with the FBI. That magnetism with the FBI is where they are wounded with him and the groups with him. The 2144 is coming into, there it goes, right there. So we've got him and the stepdaddy in transit on the evening of the 3rd with warring. Things of the past having to do with the FBI. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that because, that's just reaffirming, confirming what is constantly being showed. I don't care what nobody else says. It really, I can see it. And I'm not wrong. I'm just not. So where is Sebastian? Because the devouring energy is with him and Virginia. Sure is. And then the wisdom. The wisdom is now coming to Virginia again. With the 1542 with Sebastian and Virginia. 1543. Let's go ahead and do a day Yeah. And I'm back where I started. There it is, the 1542. And we know that there's relationship that's coming down in degree. It's coming down in degree. This 355, this is ice. Ice is going to show up and show out. There's a big, this is big with ice. This is a day that is not only big with ice on the July 25th, but July 25th, the Chronos, this 1551 is coming into, this is Michael Proudfoot. Here's his ex-wife, Miss Kathy Bower-Sox. There she is, showing up and showing out. We're reflecting Miss Lori, Katie's BFF. Reflecting her, reflecting the FBI, reflecting she and Chris Proudfoot share the same degree. So we got to look at her too. Let's see. 1618. So we're coming. The wisdom on the 5th and the 6th is with Virginia and Sebastian. Still the 7th, the wisdom is with Virginia and Sebastian. The 8th, the wisdom is still with Virginia and Sebastian. And all these other transitory energies that are hitting them both. And this is still a warring that is taking place with the FBI and Mr. Bower-Sox. Period. July 9th. Now we let off. But before we do let that wisdom go, we got to remember that there is a relationship here with Juno at a 1614 that is with Sebastian and Virginia. Let's go ahead and look at this 1143 because it's going to come over. The dark moon is there is going to be information coming in with Sebastian that's dark with the teacher. And with what's her face, the headband girl, Texana. July 10th. This is at 1:17 a.m. We see that there is a relationship here at a 1614 that is at a red station. Look at that. There's the 932. We know that the 932 is going to the Netherlands and Hawaii. There's a justice there. Is this fire? Don't know. Wow. So we have the Netherlands and Hawaii. We just looked at those. We know that they have that 932. We know that Yemen is about to be opposed in a major way, and so is Israel, the 1355. It's coming on July 10th. Look at this. There's that 1143, and the dark moon is just going to sit there. This is the day. Ooh, Netherlands. Things are just... Oof. This 2220 that's coming into transit, this is going to be... I'm not looking at Iran right now, but I'm pretty sure some of these foreign countries have the 2220. The sun is shining on communications with the state of Tennessee, the TBI. There's the TBI as well as the Netherlands. Damn it. Right here, man. Danny Guy, he's going to be in transit on the 10th as well with Lori and just their whole crew. Major transformation for Melissa on the July 10th. We are coming into Jesus. Why is Texana? You know, it just makes me. Sebastian has an 1143. It's information that is coming in and out. He has Selena that's 1143 in Pisces, but he has this 1143 that is in the 12th house. Let me just show you instead of telling you. Let me just show you. Makes it easier when I'm just showing you, you know. Here's Sebastian. Here's July 10th. So Sebastian has this co-ascendant here. And the co-ascendant, as you can see, the software doesn't have anything for that. What I've learned over the years is this 1143 is where information is coming in and information is going out. When I've seen people be found, the co-ascendant can bring them in. So do I map the co-ascendant? Of course I do. I mean, I've learned a lot over the years. So I can see that the dark moon for Sebastian at a 2658. Well, that's exactly where Chiron is at an 11 at a 2658. So it's the darkness, this dark moon, this disordered aggression about long travels, about religion, about beliefs, about philosophy, about long travels, higher learning, the Pope, a preacher, the philosophy, missiles, the radio waves, fire. And this is where we're seeing a lot of disordered aggression, a lot of information that is coming in about Sebastian. And the 1614, there's a relationship that is intense. And it's going to be intense for days. The 8th, 9th, 10th. There's a relationship, and I want to really take note of it because it is that 1614 that goes to Virginia. That 1614 that goes to Virginia and Sebastian that was in transit when he went missing. So it's very important to me to take note, to be observant, and to observe this time period because I think that we really need to understand more about it. And I want to see that this wake-up call, what it's going to look like when it comes over Sebastian, this wake-up call with his Neptune, this Neptune, the 2148 that's in his third house of communications with his siblings. But yeah, this 1143, there's information here. And again, Texana has that 1143. And it's a trip that it's rising with the 929 because that 929 is where this is the same degree that Terry Bower-Sachs has with his warring. And this is going to be about other people's money. So let's look at this. 2221 is going to come down to the 2148. 2148. Hey, Deanna. Hey, honey. 2148. Let's look at that. I want to see that wake-up call. I know y'all do too. It's like a knock on the door. Oh. 2148. There we go. July 12th, 10 o'clock. Dang it. Let me go back. Let's see if this is going to start in the first house or the 12th. I really hope it starts in the first. Damn it. No, it's going to start in the past. Shoot. So it's going to start here. That's Kathy. Danny Guy. TBI. Homeland Security. California. State of Tennessee. We're dissolving it. This is in the past, though. Good gosh. Why? Why? So we're trying to dissolve what is hidden in the past. Well, that stinks. Let's look at this 1900. Let's go to the 1909 because that's the federal agencies with Chris, Proudfoot, and Lori, the BFF, right there. And we're back in Hawaii here. There's that 929 again with the values and the third house of communications. Homeland Security. So between now and July 12th, I'm definitely going to be watching these transits with Sebastian and Virginia and the family that's in Virginia. I mean, it's all public record. I know their birthdays. I don't have to know the exact time. I mean, of course, the exact time would be great, but I don't have to have the exact time. Not at all. So that's that. That is that. Mr. You know what? Let's get the weight. Let's get the weight on the United States with Eric Craddock. Because if Eric Craddock could ever listen to this, maybe he'll know and try to prepare himself for this big old weight that's coming between him and the United States right there. This will be a big day for the United States on the 28th of July. Eric Craddock, look at that, 1614. Well, there's Sebastian in Virginia just saying hi to us once again. Look, and there's the physician. It's at a 540 once again. So yes. We're going to be right back here. Right back here. Look at that, 1615. Let's go ahead and take it to the 1614 with Sebastian and Virginia. Right there. And we can see that the Eris is coming back down to that 2542 with the FBI and Terry Bowersox. So once again, I'm seeing Sebastian's connection with Virginia and this weight, this weight that is federal. It's a 1448 with the United States. President Trump has it, the 1448. And so does Mr. Eric Craddock. And what's going to happen is there could be an investigation that's going to come on this day. On this day. Let's look at this with Virginia. Let's look at this. I swear I can't make this shit up. Can't make it up. Let's look at Virginia. Now I'll show you United States when I'm talking about. Where's Virginia? Excuse me. And what I'm doing is I'm just playing the numbers game. It's really not that difficult. You know, we learned this in kindergarten. It's really not that difficult. We're just playing the numbers game. We're just looking at numbers. And then after we assess the numbers, then I look at everything else. But again, that 143 that the FBI has, that Donald Trump has, that we have been talking about, well, there is Saturn once again coming back over it in July 28th. We're coming back to today, to this time period. Okay. So this 143 with Virginia, with the FBI, this 2542 is coming down. Eris is coming down to the warring with the FBI and Terry Bowersox. This 1614, there's a lot of energy that's going to the past with Virginia. Things that have taken place in the past with Virginia. And possibly past offenders, people who have been to jail, or anything having to do with the past with Virginia. And so this 1614, this devouring energy of home, is with the moon. And it's going to devour it. It's not in the same sign. So it's not going to be as intense as we could see, but it's definitely going to express itself. And we're going to be able to know in ways in which it expresses itself. So the Mars At a 2429, we can see that the 2429, well, it's just left the 2428 that the state of Tennessee has where they receive information. That 2428 goes to Saudi Arabia. So again, I'm talking about the same things that we are seeing, but the only thing that I can tell you is that this 540 is also going to be with one of Chris's family members. Okay. It's with one of Chris's family members, and it's the physician who is shining the enlightenment. But this 1809, Nina, the DA, Judge Blanton, and Melissa, they all four share an 1808, but it's in Leo. There's an opposing force here with the DA, with Melissa, with Nina, and with the Judge Blanton. I mean, it is what it is. All the while, it's not just Sebastian that is going to be devouring home and timing and all of that. It's also with Virginia and their past. We can see that there's a relationship at a 1703. It's just left the 1701 that Sebastian has, and it's coming to the 1706 with Virginia. So this is the reason why when I'm reading a chart and I ask people, hey, have you ever been to, Hawaii? No. Okay. Well, maybe one day you will, because I can see that you are connected to Hawaii. Or they could say, oh yeah, how did you know? Like, I'm actually taking a class right now. I'm taking a class and it's with, Hawaii. Really? Yeah, it's an online class with Hawaii. Well, then I guess that's why you are connected to Hawaii. Because the teacher, Selena, is connected to Hawaii. It's really not that. And people are like, oh my God, is she psychic? No, I'm not psychic. I'm none of that. I'm an astrologer. I'm just looking at numbers, y'all. It's just a numbers game. And I'm sorry that nobody else has caught on to it. It's really cool and interesting. But this 143 is going to come into transit times too. There's a breakup with communications with the FBI and Trump, y'all. I'm telling you, things with the FBI are not going good this week, this weekend, and all of the rest of June and July. Things are not going good with the FBI. And I can tell you one thing, the FBI descends with relationships. What does descend mean, Jennifer? You know what descend means. Y'all know what descend means. You're fallen. Everybody descends with relationships. Once you bring somebody in, it's no longer about you. It's no longer about your ego. You got to let the ego go. Well, the FBI is going to have to let their ego go and really look into the little, the little cartel going on in Hendersonville. Because it just seems like it's a cartel. There's an expansion here with Katie. Y'all, there is an expansion here with Katie on the 28th with Jupiter, with the law and her burden, the burden of money. The burden of money. So things are really going to pick up in Sebastian's case. And I know we're all here for it. We're ready for it, but I do think that there's going to be some breakthroughs. This is going to be a day that's going to weigh Eric Craddock down. He's going to be weighted down on this day, July 28th. Mark it in your calendars. You'll see what I'm talking about. Y'all will definitely see what I'm talking about. Let's look at the FBI with that day. Where'd they go? There they are. So the FBI is here. July 28th is here. So what's going to happen is the FBI is going to be weighed down on the 27th. So let's look at the 27th first, because it's going to hit the FBI and then it's going to go to Craddock. Okay. So this is a day that we really want to observe. I'm here for it. Come on, let's get it over with. Jesus, it's past time. Past time that we find Sebastian Rogers. So we're going to go back to this. Okay, so this 1447, let's go ahead and start it when it begins, because there's a justice here. There's a justice. Astria, her myth is really cool. And I'm going to try to tell you it really short and sweet and to the point. Basically, what Astria does is she is the last immortal to leave Earth. She was tired of the human being not getting it, warring. She basically gave the finger and said, you know what? I'm over y'all. I will come back in the golden age when y'all have some sense. I'm sick of y'all. Sick of y'all warring with each other. So the FBI, here's where it starts. This is before Virginia, before Sebastian. This is when it begins with the FBI. Let's go ahead and get it to the exact minute. This is going to be July 27th, Sunday. Here we go. This is the exact moment per Nashville, Tennessee time. I mean, you can mark it on your calendar. You can test me. Please test me. Test me. Test me. Okay, so Mars is definitely going to come and oppose me on July 27th. Okay, I see why. I definitely see why. Mars is going to come and oppose me. It's a vehicle. Let's see, Sunday, July 27th. This is at 8:00 p.m. And look at that. So, okay, let me look at the FBI here. Let's look at their chart with it. So they are going to be weighted down with the justice. So whatever is going to happen between now and then, there's a justice that is weighing. It's the courts. The courts. Their public image. We can see that Vulcan is at 1148. So Vulcan has just went over this 1149. There's a finale, a justice that's going to weigh them down for 24 hours. So as it weighs them down for 24 hours, what's going to happen is there's this letting go with the 143 in Aries and in Libra. This is about the justice, about their partnerships and relationships, how they bring in money, their little cartel, if you will. So the 1447 is going to be weighed down. What else do we see here? (2028), there's going to be a relationship with the United States at a 2027, but we haven't gotten there yet, but that's what's coming. That is what's coming overnight on Sunday. There's a 1657, so there's already been a relationship that's weighed them down. 2542. The Eris is just going to be sitting here, y'all. Eris is just sitting here. There's a lot of warring with the FBI and their relationships, and the FBI and their relationships. There's going to be some things that's going to be made known. I can definitely see a transformation with Nina. I see a transformation with Crabtree on this day. And then this 144, like I said, Saturn is going to come back. Saturn is right now is moving forward, but then end of July, Saturn is going to come back around, and it's going to come back from that 144. It's going to sit here at the 143, and then it's going to oppose the investigations. So the FBI better get their act right. Better get their act right. And if you don't have your act right, Mr. Craddock, you better get it right, because there's things that are going to be taking place with the FBI that's going to weigh them down, that's going to come and weigh you down. So then that's what's happening. Hades is it's actually a real place. Let me show you. Hades. It was in ancient times. Let's see if it says that. In Greek mythology, Hades is located in the underworld. This would be called hell. So if you want to talk about hell, Tartarus is Taurus, the bull, the money. Okay, money. Anyway, Persephone gets taken down to the underworld. Hades, a real place in Mesopotamia. Let me see if that will pull it up. Okay, so where was it? I hate to put this on here. Shoot, what was it? What can I put in there? In Christian theology, the concept of Christ's descent into Hades, also known as hell or the underworld after his crucifixion, is a significant event, often referred to as the herring of hell. Okay, so what I'm not finding is the actual. There was a place where they threw people that had been on the cross, and they would throw them there and burn them. But I'm not seeing it on Google. I'm not real sure what I should even put in there. Okay, so this would be it. Yeah. This would be it. The place of punishment? No. Maybe it was this. God, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've studied that, and I really don't want to get caught up on this. As long as I have. Is the Hebrew term for the underworld? No, that's still not it. I'll have to come back to y'all when I wrote about it in my history, but it's like 400 pages. I'm not going to get that out. But anyway, I'll find out what that actual place was called and get back with you. I was looking up information on Kelly Proudfoot, and she is a hedge witch and numerologist. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. She is the sister. She is the wife of Proudfoot's brother. I know who you're talking about. But I'm actually the person I'm talking about in Virginia. Kelly is he's a junior. He's a junior and he lives in Virginia. Chris has family in Virginia, right by Katie's family in Virginia. But there's going to be a weight that's going to come over the FBI. There's going to be a darkness that is going to come over. Let me get to the day. There's going to be a darkness that's going to come over Eric Craddock, Katie Proudfoot, Chris, and there's going to be a shakeup with wisdom about children and schools on the 28th. And there's going to be a major issues with the FBI on the 28th as well, as Sebastian at a 1614 with his Vulcan, and Virginia with a 1614 with their Pisces moon is going to have a transitory collective energy. And there's a devouring energy with Kronos. It's going to be a devouring energy with the state of Virginia. And Sebastian. All on the same day, July 28th. And their physician, there's this enlightenment that will come from one of Chris's family members as they hold the enlightenment with the physician, Apollo, who brings light. So this is going to be an interesting day. I want us to remember this day, July 28th. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know Chris's birth time, but his Saturn could be that 414. It could be a 411. It could be a 412. It could be a 414, though. Either way, the Saturn is going to be in transit the end of July, no matter what time he's born. But there's a huge weight that's going to be on all of them. July 28th. And there's a lot of energy with the 1614 with Ceres. Ceres is about agriculture. Ceres can be about agriculture. She can be about religion, belief systems, ideals, the ideology of philosophy, Yep. Right before this, though, right before all of this weight, there's going to be some pain that Sebastian will experience about communications with his values, and that is going to come. Geez, we're looking at, oh my gosh, Chiron is just going to stall. Wow. Look at that. Chiron is going to be holding a 2709. Whoever has that 2709, look at that. These are days. So the 24th, look at that. The 25th, Chiron's at a 2709. The 26th, Chiron is at a 2709. The 27th, Chiron is at a 2709. This is important. Holy shoot. Let me write that down so I can figure out who has that degree. 2709. Interesting. That's insane to me. That Chiron is just going to sit. Usually Chiron doesn't just hang out on 1 degree for a whole day, much less 3 days. That's something to really take note of. I don't like to see that at all. But it's moving very slow. So 2705, let's look at, this is July 18th. Let's look at Sebastian 2706, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with him as soon as I get it there. The 2706, there it is. Let me go back. Do it minute. I want to see the exact time. So this is going to be Friday. Afternoon, July 18th. There's going to be a wake-up call with the Enlightenment with the physician, Apollo with Tennessee as well. 2706, there it is. Moon is in Taurus. Moon is in Taurus, and moon is exalted in Taurus. It's about money. It's about values, things of possession, things that we own. There's Virginia, 1820. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson over Summer Wells' case. He also has that degree. That goes to Virginia. I see. So Mercury is going to come in station at a 1533. 855, that's the United States. There's divine justice with groups. Okay, so this is Sebastian, 2706. It's going to be a lot of energy coming to the state of Virginia there at a 1511. 1604. So there's a devouring energy with the United States and with Yemen on July 18th. Again, a devouring energy with Yemen and the United States. That 540, geez, man, that dude, that family member of Sebastian is going to be, that enlightenment is going to be in transit for days with him. That's a trip. That is a trip. Lots of energy going to the state of Tennessee, to the TBI, the 11th house of groups. It's critical. Education and children. Let me look at this day. So 2706, this is with relationships and partnerships with Sebastian. Let me play the tape through. This is July 19th. And Chiron is still there in the 7th house of relationships and partnerships. And the values, his values. Moon is still in Taurus here at a 2009. The moon is going to be opposing Chris Proudfoot. And then we go to the 2707. It lets off with Sebastian. And now the physician is stationing. Mars is going to oppose the state of Tennessee here. Never mind. I see it. There's Kathy Bowersox. Kathy Bowersox. Right there on the 17th. Kathy Bowersox. Emotional explosion about children, about education with Kathy. The attention. She's going to grab some attention on this day, on the 17th of July. Yep, she sure is. She sure is. Okay. Miss Kathy. Miss Kathy and her family. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I know it doesn't y'all. Sebastian. We're looking for you, buddy. Looking for you. So Sebastian and this 2706, it's this right here. This 2706 in Sag and in Gemini, this 2706 is about his values. This second house, even though all you see is Capricorn, this second house is actually ruled by Sagittarius. It's about the values with religion, with long travels, with higher learning. It's fiery. And it's about communications and things that are hidden here at home with his family. And that's where the pain is with the values and the family. That's where he shares pain. on the 18th of July. And the lunar nodes are going to come to that school again. Let's see. But this is Virginia. This 1820 is Virginia. Let's look at that. The 1820 is the 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. The seventh house of relationships and partnerships with Virginia. The 1820 is their Neptune in Libra. The Neptune is something that we have to dissolve. In your chart, wherever Neptune is, it's something that you want to dissolve and you want to see things clearer. Neptune tends to cloud our judgments. The 1820 here is in the 8th house of death, rebirth, regeneration, other people's money, things that are hidden. This is the investigative house. The 8th house is, and the 1820 is about communications, especially with two people. And we can see that Venus has already went over that 1542. That's given them a wake-up call about health. So it's going to be another day that we're going to be watching Virginia and the Bowersox family. And when I say the Bowersox, I really mean Kathy's family. This will be a day that we observe Virginia again. Because, like I said, there's these connections that Sebastian has in his natal chart are going to Virginia a lot. And the transits right now, a lot. Interesting. The 1509, that's going to be coming to the 1511, the values of Virginia and the things that are hidden in this 8th house with the investigation, lots of energy. This could be directed energy. Ceres is either directed energy. She is about the agriculture, the land, crop. And she's also about religion. And I'm not talking about spirituality. I'm talking about organized religion. There's a lot of federal numbers here I see with the United States. The wisdom of investigations. I want to look at this 2038. I want to see the state of Tennessee get a wake-up call with the 2035. And I want to see that come in with the lunar nodes of fate. There it is. We're going to wake up Friday. Oh, no, this Friday evening. The United States is going to be opposed, possibly with electricity, the electromagnetic field. And there it is, the 2035. There's the wake-up call in the future with groups with the state of Tennessee. They're receiving enlightenment. And there's a lot of energy with the values of Virginia here. Lots of energy with the values of Virginia. And Seth isn't going to be happy because he is also connected to the state of Virginia. And then this 2057, oh, yeah. Eric Craddock. That's right. Eric Craddock has a 2056 in his natal chart. There's a devouring energy with him in that 2056. It's very mental. There's Sebastian. There's an intensity, an intense experience with travel, with the movement, the action. And now it's at 1830. And then there is this fate now that is going to come to Eric Craddock. But there it is. With communications, July 18th. This is in late at night. Once again, divine justice with a long travel with Melissa. Could be about the radio waves. Kathy's family member holding the enlightenment once again. Firing energy with United States and Yemen. And then there is a wake-up call. There's not a wake-up call. Actually, there's an expansion of home with groups, with the online networking. There is something happening in the United States with groups. And again, it could be there's a justice here too that's just opposed the United States. So we could be without electricity or something to do with homes, home building, the feds. I don't know. But there's a values. Those values are still in transit with Sebastian there at a 2706. And I know I'm missing so much, but y'all, it's just a constant, it's just constantly showing that there is so much more to this connection with Sebastian. And there it is. Sebastian also has this connection with Virginia. It's just wild how much he does connect to the state of Virginia. See, Virginia has the 1531. They are going to be transformed. There's a head wound. There's warring here with Virginia. There's the 1531 right there. Venus has already went over the 1614 degree. Of course, not in Pisces. She's in Gemini. But I'm looking at the fate with, there was a wake-up call with state of Tennessee and the physician Apollo. There was enlightenment. They received it via an investigation. I can see Melissa in transit, but I can also see that there was an opposition with groups, with electrical, online networking with the United States, possibly the electromagnetic field. We can see that 1513, let's get to, the moon is going to grace that 1256. What else do we see here? I gotta look at Sebastian with this. I see a lot here. Sebastian, sorry, I'm not watching chat. I'm just not even looking. I'm just focused here. So we got the 1829. There was an intense experience with communications and Sebastian at that 1829. This is going to be about communications with the United States. This is federal. The fate is with Craddock and communications because his is in Gemini. That 1531 that Sebastian connects to with the transformation of Virginia, that's where his Cupid is in Sag. And then there's a lot of energy at that 1513 that is coming to the 1516 Mars. Is going to grace that degree. It's about the movement, the movement, the action, the initiating energy that is initiating action here. Even though Ceres is at a 15 degree and is here, she is in the house of education with Sebastian. Okay. So there's a movement. There is a movement of a higher learning here, a long travel, possibly the 2444. I can see that with Virginia and Proudfoot Jr. 2443, 2444. Then the flame of life. They have the 1844. So the divine justice is going to come and oppose Virginia's values. In the justice system, there's going to be some type of law, or there's going to be some type of justice. Let's see. 1516. So we want to see what that's going to look like. 1516 with Mars. I mean, where's it at? Ceres. Ceres is in Aries. So Aries is, of course, ruled by Mars. The 1515, that is Terry Bowersox and Kathy Bowersox, just so you know. And then the 1515 is still with them. Still with them. And now it's with Sebastian. Here we go. Communications with the FBI. State of Tennessee, the 2706. The sun has just shined on the 2706 at a home. And then his his Uranus is going to be opposed right here. The 1846 with a vehicle. Okay, let's go back and look. Let's hope that this comes in the first house. And no, damn it. No, this is about the past. The vehicle. And the moon is going to reflect the intensity right there with Sebastian. Let me make sure y'all can still hear me. Y'all good? Are y'all good? Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat, y'all. Sorry, I'm just doing my thing here. Sorry, y'all. Hey, everybody. Hey, Kitty, Nika, love, light, and gratitude. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Love and light right back to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, he is just constantly showing up with Virginia. And it's the same. There's an opposition. See, Mars is going to be at an 1846 here in the 10th house, his public image. This 1846 is going to oppose the 4th house of home, the shakeup that took place at home, that was abrupt at home. This is in the 4th house, so that's why I'm saying at home. And it's going to oppose Uranus. There is going to be an abrupt shakeup here with Sebastian, and there is an opposition with him. Mars is, of course, personal. So we know that the flame of life is going to reignite a flame with Virginia's 957. So we know that that is going to be coming into transit, and that those 950s are where Nina and Chris connect as well. Those higher 950s, no matter what time Chris is born, he has that. So, and we know that there's a divine justice that's going to come and oppose Virginia. Let's go ahead and look at that, because I'm ready to see what that's going to look like at 844. And it's going to oppose, there is a justice that's opposing the physician. That's opposing the physician. So let's look at that. Oh, damn. Okay, so she's not going to come down to the 844. She's not going to oppose the physician. Okay, good deal. What is she going to station at? Let's see. An 846. So for days, she's going to be in an 846. That's ice. Ice. ICE, the FBI, is going to have an intense experience all day on the 24th. This is, of course, again, this is when the 24th is when the NATO summit is going to take place in the Netherlands. Intense, intense, intense. Big time. And this weekend begins, really, really begins that intensity, because I see a lot going on with Yemen. I don't even need to look at Iran or Israel. I just don't. I mean, it's they're constantly in transit anyway. But I can guarantee y'all one thing: it's not going to get any better, because this is a time period of craziness. It's going to be a wake up call with Tennessee, though. Right here, let me look at this. 27. This letting go of communications. They're letting go. The FBI is letting go of communications, and there is this 141. Kathy Bowersox connects to the FBI as well at a 142. So this is when she's going to be letting go with the FBI on July 25th. However that's going to look. Yeah. Yep. There's the United States at an 808. And then here comes the state of Tennessee with their enlightenment right here. Right there. July 25th. The new moon. Who would have thought it? The new moon. So Kathy is going to be in transit with the FBI with this letting go. There is a letting go of communications with her and them. There's the FBI right here with the relationship. I just hope it's her. I really do. Y'all let go. Just let go. Become one with it. Jesus. 2035 again. So we're going to see. Hygeia. The flame of life and the communications with two people. Right there in the 11th house of groups. And then there is a lot of energy with the 1601. Let's look at Virginia one more time. Let's look at Virginia one more time. Let's look at it. Lots of energy. And Virginia has their lunar nose at a 1601. And that is exactly where Ceres is going to be. Is devouring. There is this devouring energy with Ceres, and it's going to be, like I said, it's, it could be directed energy. It could be warring because it's in Aries, right? But yeah, this is the fate. There's going to be a lot of fate with Virginia. Virginia just keeps popping in and out. Communications about education, the media. The sun has just shined on the education. The media we're learning about things with education and children. And again, Chris could have this 412 with his Saturn. Just don't know. Don't know. But I do know that the physician here, Apollo, at a 540, Kathy's fam, He's just carrying the enlightenment for days and days and days. And then we're going to have a wake-up call with groups. Well, at the 1846 with Sebastian, with groups. And this could be homeless groups. It could be online networking. It could be video right there. It could be about we the people. This is going to be Saturday, 26th. When we wake up. Oh, shoot. Let me go back. 1847. 1846. As soon as it comes, we're going to stop it so we can see exactly what time, but it's going to be around 8:30, July 26th. It's in the 6th house of health, the everyday. Every day. Now we're at 9 o'clock. Nashville time. There we go. Right there. The sun is shining at a 350 in Leo. Well, so that means that the sun is going to shine and oppose the state of Tennessee. And I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this. There's Venus at a 2443. Let me show you this. I can't make it up, man. Virginia. 2443. It's their outer will. Outer will. So it's about things of the past with networking. Their everyday with health and education and children. Right? That's where Venus is at. That's where Venus is at. That's what the communications are going to be about. Venus is going to be making contact. I'll bet not in the same sign. Venus at a 2443 is actually here in Gemini. But there's a square. There's a 90-degree angle that's squaring here. There is the flame of life with the 1142, and that is going to be coming into Sebastian's 1143. Once again, it's with his teacher. And the reason why I say that is because he receives information here. He receives information here at 1143. This is where the flame of life is coming. She's going to sit here. But the teacher is also 1143. This is a teacher. Again, Texana has this degree in her chart, no matter what time she's born. So the 1143, that is where we see that the flame of life with Vesta, she is coming there to the 1143, to the teacher. There is a reigniting of a flame. It's going to reignite and is going to oppose the state of Tennessee and all the warring that they have with we the people. At the same time, there's a letting go with, and there's a wake-up call with groups, with online networking, with Sebastian at an 1846. That 1846 that he has isn't in Aquarius like Pallas is going to be, but the 1846 is definitely going to shake things up with Sebastian and groups. The groups, we the people. Could we be having a protest that day? It's possible. But I'm just saying that there are things that are taking place all the time with Sebastian that are taking me to Virginia. I'm tired of saying it. So, I just wanted to show y'all why I say it all the time. Because it just so happens that they're highly connected. And I don't know that Sebastian's there. I do wonder, anybody would wonder who would be doing this type of investigation. The moon is reflecting children, things of the past, and education, because this is not just about Leo, the sun, This is, also about education and publicity and children. So that's all I got today. That's all I got today. I played the tape through June and July pretty much, you know, and there's a lot more to see throughout all these days and the things that are, but this, it's interesting to me too that Kathy's family member is going to be holding the physician for days. That 540 is just going to be constantly coming in and out of transit with him. And so that's interesting to take note of as well. So I hope you guys have a good rest of the afternoon. Thank God it's Friday, right? And if you haven't, told Seth, if you haven't went onto his channel and told Seth Rogers that you are praying for him, please do. No matter how you pray, no matter who your God is, what have you, send him some love. Send him some love on his birthday today. It's not like it's a happy birthday. It's not ever going to be a happy birthday until Sebastian gets home, but y'all show him some love. Think about him today. Think about him this weekend as he is consistently trying to find his son. All right. So until next time, peace out, guys. Y'all have a good one.